Alright guys, this is my my brother's 1993 Ford F150 4x4 5.0 automatic. What we're going to do on this one today is the water pump was leaking. I put the water pump in about 3 months ago and it did fine, but then it started to develop this weird, he said, my brother would say, kind of a rattle on startup. He said, I can't figure out what it is. Hopefully it's not that new water pump that you put in, but it is leaking now, so maybe that's what it is. So we thought, okay, well, it happens. You know, we bought the water pump at AutoZone. Duralast it's hit or miss, man. We know where those parts come from. Me personally, when it comes to parts for these older American vehicles, I prefer Mexico, Canada, even the US if you can find old stock. But China, I'm not too keen on for a lot of reasons. It's like I said, it's hit or miss. Some parts that come from China are perfect. They work great. Others don't. It's all about the quality is just hit or miss. And it turned out the two bottom bolts on the water pump were loose. And I'm like, how in the hell does that happen? These two here. You can't really see it because of the light. That one and this one here. And this one on this side here was not as tight. And I used a torque wrench to torque these in. But the one thing I started to notice, let me get this water pump out of the way. In fact, I'll probably disconnect it and take it out. But I look down in here, and I'm hoping you guys can see that. You see that rubber? There's a piece of that rubber, the dampener for the harmonic balancer, the dampener itself. There's that rubber seal in between there that's coming out, sliding out. So that means that the harmonic balancer is loose. Now, just looking at the naked eye, you're thinking, okay, it looks fine. But when we start it up and watch that thing turn, it hits this little guy right here. See that? On the other underside of this, you see the scratches. So, and it is loose on that side, the underside. So when it turns around, it scratches that little thing and let you know there's a problem, which is the timing gauge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace it. I have one, also Duralast. I mean, I try to tell them to go to Napa for these Ford parts. I guess Napa didn't have it, so we went with Duralast, AutoZone, because they have it on hand. So the other part of the noise was coming from the idler pulley. It's pretty bad. You see it's dirty. But the tensioner pulley was even worse. So he did buy one of those. We didn't find one of these exactly yet. I have bearings, so I think I'm going to take this off and I'm going to press those out and put a new bearing in it, and it'll be fine. That's one good reason to hang on to old parts from your builds, because of that. So I'm gonna get through and get started. And I got my 9/16. You have to remove the bolts on this, which I've already done, and you pull that off, and there you're just left with the harmonic balancer. And I'm gonna spray the nut with some WD-40, let it set for 10-15 minutes, and get ready to pull that sucker off of there. And after we get that apart, I'll put the camera back on it and see that? And this actually will move. I was putting my pry bar kind of in between there. Be careful, but I could see this part moving up and down on this side. There's a slide pin in there it goes, if you guys can see this, see that notch? This has some RTV sealant on it, which, you know, some guys do. The manufacturer, I know, has done it. I've seen several that have had that on there. Anyway, that slide pin usually on the crankshaft itself, that thing doesn't want to come out. Now when you get a new harmonic balancer, it does come with one, but sometimes you ain't got to do anything but put the new one in place, because you're not going to be able to get that slide pin out. So there it is, out of the vehicle. That's not good. That definitely can affect some things. That means it's sliding out, it's wobbling all over, and it should look like that. So I'm going to take a picture here for my brother, so pardon me for being in the way. And the seal looks good. We should change it. I think I'm going to run to AutoZone and grab another seal anyway. So I'll be right back and we'll put it back together. So I went ahead and put a new seal in it, and how I got that out is I used this one actually came out pretty easy, to be honest. I put a screwdriver in between there, smacked it a few times with the hammer. Of course, I used a 24-inch long screwdriver, and then just kind of worked my way around that way, and it popped right out. So this one I just got done putting in. I used a large socket, put the new one in place, and just kind of lightly tapped it on there, put some oil on it around there. Some people use grease. I wouldn't do that. You never know what those seals or how it'll react to grease, which, you know, I should be able to handle it, I guess, but specifications are all different for a lot of different things. So I used motor oil. I put 530 on there. I also put 530 motor oil on this here, so it's all oiled up and ready to go, and I'm gonna get that back in place in order to put it back on, and I'll show you how I do that. Alright guys, new harmonic balancer in place. I'm going to draw it on with the nut have some, or the bolt has some Loctite on it. But there it is, and it's in place. I'm just going to torque it down, and then I'm going to stick the pulley back on like so, and move on to the water pump. So really this video was about changing the harmonic balancer. There are other videos out there, you know, but this is for my subscribers. So anyhow, like, share, subscribe, and thanks for watching more Pony Auto videos. Talk to you later, guys.